The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. And the best part of finishing off a container of Folgers coffee might just be finding a solution for a tricky home improvement problem. Storing leftover paint can be challenging. Dry paint along the rim of the can may make it hard to open and seal shut. To fix this problem, you could transfer your leftover paint into something else, but choosing the right container is imperative so the paint doesn't dry out. Luckily, TikToker, the color of our home, has found the perfect vessel, and it might already be in your pantry. She suggests storing leftover paint in an empty Folgers coffee container. Simply pour your excess paint from the can into this container, then reach for it the next time you need to use that color. This is a helpful hack if you need to store some paint for an ongoing project that's taking multiple days. And it could also be a lifesaver if you accidentally lost or broke the lid of your original paint can. Because the lid of a Folgers container is easy to open and close, doing this could make completing paint jobs simple, not to mention faster as well. Plus, by reusing your old containers, you're preventing them from going to a landfill, where they could sit for up to 1,000 years and potentially harm both wildlife and the environment. With all these positives, what's not to love? If you don't already have a Folgers container, you can purchase one from Walmart for about $10 and transfer the ground coffee into jars or resealable kitchen containers. Before putting your paint in your empty Folgers container, you'll first need to clean it out. You can do so with soap and water before drying it with a paper towel or letting it air dry. This will get rid of any leftover residue to prevent it from mixing with your paint. You don't want to be slapping coffee-laced paint onto your walls. Once the container is dry, transfer your leftover paint. Seal it shut by adding a layer of plastic wrap underneath the lid, which will keep the paint from drying out. Now, you should have a useful storage container that you can use repeatedly. If you're planning to use all the paint over the course of a few days, store the Folgers container in the fridge between uses to keep it fresh.
If you're not done painting, just pop the lid back on, stick it in the fridge, and you're good to go.
If you're looking to store leftover paint for future projects, you can keep the container in a cupboard or enclosed indoor room without much light and a temperature between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In these conditions, it could last for several years or more. When using this paint container for small touch-ups, you may find that the container's handles make it easy to carry around. It's also the perfect size to dip a brush into, eliminating the need to pour the paint into another container. To take this hack to the next level, use multiple Folgers containers if you have large amounts of paint or several in different colors. To remember which shade is in which can, simply add some labels to the front that note the name of the color or product and what room it was used in. This will help you quickly locate the shade when you want to use it again without having to take the lids off each time. You can even swatch the paint or tape the paper sample from the hardware store onto the outside of the container. Another way to make the container more useful when completing touch-ups is by adding a small magnet to the outside with superglue. As DIY Small Home Projects on TikTok advises, this will provide you with a place to put your brush so it's always on hand during paint projects. If you plan on using your container over and over again, you could spray paint the outside any color you desire to improve its aesthetics. After opening a Folgers container that's full of paint after an extended amount of time, mix the paint and look for any changes in texture, such as bits that have clumped together or rancid smells. It's best to discard clumpy or smelly paint, as it won't spread evenly onto the surface. Instead, it should have a silky consistency and smell the same as it did when you first put it away.